What's up guys, Todd Kelly, Shoe Shop Outdoors, and today I'm going to show you how to seam seal a tent. So I've had this MSR Hubba Hubba NX tent for 11 years now. It's been a fantastic tent, but the seam tape on the inside of the rain fly is starting to come off and it's starting to leak when it rains. So it's time to do our own seam sealing it. You can buy the iron-on seam tape to replace it with, but that's a bit of a pain. It's really tough to get in those tight corners, and there's a chance of you doing damage to the rain fly with a hot iron when you apply the seam tape. The best way to do it is with silicone. It'll penetrate the threads from the outside, and it does a fantastic job. It flexes and stretches depending on how tight your rain fly is. That's my preferred method, so we'll show you how that's done here in this video. First off, we're going to go over the supplies needed to do the seam sealing. First thing you're going to need is silicone, and you want to go with a marine grade silicone because it can freeze, it can take extreme heat, and it's also UV resistant. It's a little more expensive than your generic silicone, but this is going to provide the best seam sealing for your tent, especially if you're using it all seasons. Next thing is just a cheap dollar store brush to apply it, a mixing container, and we want to dissolve our silicone with white gas, Coleman fuel, whatever you want to call it, so it really penetrates the threads on the seams. It evaporates really fast and clean, so you want to go with white gas. So we'll set up our tent here. You want it on a warm, sunny day to do this so it dries relatively fast. And you want your fly to be really tight. Stretch that fabric out so the silicone can penetrate the seams really well. So I'll get my tent set up here. We've got our tent up now. The fly is super tight. That's how we want it. We want that thing stretched out really well. So we're going to mix up our silicone. So we're going to squeeze a whole bunch into our container here. And we're going to mix in our white gas. Now this takes a bit of fine tuning to get the right amount, consistency. I did about 50-50 mix here. That's pretty close to what we're looking for. You don't want it super runny because then it'll get all over the place. And if it's too thick, then it won't penetrate deep enough. That's looking pretty good there. Maybe just a hair more, just a tiny splash. Now as you're working on this, if you have like a really big tent that you're doing, the white gas is evaporating out of this, especially on a hot warm day, so you might have to come back and add more white gas because it's going to get too thick on you. That's pretty good there. So we're just going to now paint the seams. So we'll just continue this, go over the whole tent, paint all the seams with the silicone. We've got the tent fully seam sealed. The last thing we want to do is apply some baby powder. That's just going to take away the stickiness of silicone. So we got our tent here. The silicone is dry. It's 25 degrees out. Only took a couple minutes in the sun here for that white gas to evaporate and the silicone to dry out. Just a light dusting. I already got some on here. And that's just going to prevent any of the stickiness of the silicone when it's wrapped up into a bag or storage or that. After a couple hours, if you want, you can hose the excess baby powder off, or you can just leave it and it'll come off over time. Anyways, that's how you seam seal a tent. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, throw those on down below.